Hi, it's John and Mike from brew-dudes.com. We do these videos and you watch them on YouTube and hopefully you get something out of them. We're making them for you. So if you saw last week's video, we have a whole bunch of these experimental brews that I brewed up probably a couple months ago. And it was part of the Brew in the Bag series on our blog. But it was with the intent to learn more about hop varieties that we had not brewed before, but had read a whole bunch about, and people raving about them, and I wanted to know more about it. So the first of the Brew in the Bag series of the SMaSH beers, single malt, single hop beers, was Mosaic. This week we're tasting the Dorado hop SMaSH beer. So if you want to get caught up, I made a 1 gallon batch. American two-row malt was my single malt, and the single hop was Dorado hops. The hopping schedule was as follows: 1 ounce total for a 1 gallon batch, a quarter of an ounce at 60 minutes to go in the boil, 10 minutes to go in the boil, another quarter of an ounce. At flame out, another quarter of an ounce, and what do we have left? Yes, another quarter of an ounce to dry hop with. About 3 days to go in primary fermentation. I followed the same schedule for all of these SMaSH beers to kind of get, hopefully, similar results in the finished beer so we can taste them and kind of get an idea of what these hops are all about. Not only as a bittering hop, but also as a finishing hop, flavor hop, whatever you want to call it. So the fun part of all these tasting videos is we have Mike have a go at it, taste the beers, tell us what he's tasting and smelling, and see how that compares to the written descriptors that I found on the internet and put into our hop profile post on the blog, and see how we net out. Is he tasting what people are writing, or is he way off? So while he tells you what he's smelling and tasting, I will start my research.
When we first opened it, the very first aromas coming off of the glass, it's I get right off I get like a crystallized ginger, like a ginger candy almost, and then I get candied orange peel in there, and then I swear I kind of describe it as something that's sort of like almost raspberry. Like a raspberry aroma to it, some sort of berry, but my brain is telling me raspberry for sure. Maybe almost underripe raspberry, and there's a very hint of like freshly cut grass in there too.
Okay.
More of like an undernote that kind of ties it all together. I mean, it's so it's pleasant. The aroma is very unique, and it keeps drawing me in. When I first smelled it, I was blown away. So when I taste it, the bitterness is subtle. It's subdued. It is a little bit. It's a resiny bitterness, but it's not. It doesn't linger. It's not sticky. It is again American hoppy, like a citrus pith type of bitterness. There definitely is a flavor of cut grass in the flavor component to it, but I definitely get like lime and raspberry. It's almost like a raspberry lime Ricky type of flavor. It's actually really very pleasant. Okay. It's not super strong, but that's kind of what I get, is like this raspberry, like a delicate berry type of flavor with like a green citrus. Like I just taste like lime almost. I wish I could call it melon or something, but it's not. To me, it's a raspberry.
Okay. You want to?
I like it.
You want to learn?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Let's see.
So what I gathered from different sources, lots of tropical fruit flavors, some notes of pear, watermelon, which I can see, because I actually, when I first had a sip, when you were saying I actually had strawberry.
Maybe that's the red.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it in my brain,
And stone fruits like peaches and plum. I'm not getting any peach.
I almost said the word peach at one point.
Really?
I almost said like a cross between a peach and a raspberry, but it's definitely more berry to me. I like the the watermelon idea. What was the descriptor before watermelon? The
It was pear.
pear. You
Yeah.
know, like I would describe the bitterness, almost the mouthfeel of the bitterness itself as underripe pear. You know, have you ever bitten like a pear that's like hard and you chew it up and it kind of has that like almost tannic-like, to use a beer term, like a drying, astringency in the back of your mouth? It's sort of like underripe pear to me, but I don't know.
This, I mean, the last hop we explored was Mosaic, and that was supposed to be blueberry.
Yeah.
This had more berry flavor and aroma
Yeah.
than Mosaic had at all.
Just goes to show you how like palates are different. I mean,
Yeah.
and how it's the same flavor compounds per se, but we just register them slightly differently,
Yeah.
or it triggers our memories of flavors in different ways. Definitely, as it's warmed up a little bit, I'm getting more of the grass
Yeah.
and maybe underripe, like the rind of the watermelon. You know, I think that's.
Huh. Interesting.
And there's the raspberry. So dynamic. It's kind of like this churning of, like, I think what it is, you know, I think what it is like certain flavor, certain receptors of aroma and flavor are like being triggered, and they're kind of burning out for a second, and then you can taste something else, right? And then it comes back to you again because you're kind of swapping over. It's fascinating. It's pretty good.
So I think that as we compared, like, not potency or just strength, Mosaic certainly had a longer burn afterwards, and this is much subtler, yet has definitely more of the fruity berry characteristics that I was looking for at Mosaic, and we just didn't find. It was like that piney, resiny kind of like trumped everything else. I
think a nice way to apply this hop, or at least one attribute of this, is that if you're going to be using this to help bolster or jump in with some other flavor hops, it wouldn't interfere with your bittering hops, right? Because I think at the flavor end of it, the bitterness level is so subtle that I think if you didn't have it in for 60 minutes, if you were just in like your 20 or 10 minute cycle, it would do really nice of giving you a clean bitterness. If you wanted to use if you're making some sort of a pale ale IPA with this, that would probably be pretty nice. Yeah. This balanced out with something like an Amarillo or a Citra, maybe you could force more of that tropical thing to come at you.
But it's definitely a nice complement to some of them, maybe those real citrusy hops. Because that's something I'm not getting out. I mean, there's a little bit of it, but it's not the, like, if you were a top descriptor, you know. Yeah. Citrus is not at the top. This is more of a kind of a berry.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And then you say grass a lot.
It's just a nice, soft, juicy kind of berry-like quality to it.
So that's what we have. And at 15% typical alpha acid, you know, this isn't. It certainly is a clean bittering, so it's not.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's 15% off.
That's what I read too. So yeah, I was
the bitterness is so subtle. You know, this is one of the things that's tough to learn about.
Yeah.
Not just alpha acid content, but beta acid and oil content.
Yes.
I mean, this is probably higher on the oil content than it is on the those. You know,
I don't want to be quoted because people might know, and then they'll say like,
I'll delete that.
You're a jerk. You don't know what you're talking about. So that is El Dorado hops. And I remember talking about Mosaic and blueberry that somebody had like a commercial example with El Dorado, and he said, it tasted just like a big blueberry. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that, you know, a berry flavor is what you're getting out of that. So if you're looking for something new, want to try out a new hop, El Dorado gets our seal of approval. I don't know if we're handing those things out, but these are all things we have experienced using this beer in a SMaSH. Definitely go out and try and let us know how you like El Dorado hops in your own beers. But we think it'd be a great complement to some of those other more strong citrusy hops. Could be getting more tropical fruit flavors out of those other varieties such as Citra or even Amarillo. So, so that's it. Thanks so much for watching. We're John and Mike from brew-dudes.com. Brew on.
Cheers.
Cheers.